What's up guys, welcome to episode 3 of my Madden 15 Ultimate Team series. Jumping straight into this all-pro first game here, and we start off with the run slant 1-2 combo. Antonio Brown holding on for the first as we look to get things moving. On the next play though, he sends a blitz on the play action that gets through unblocked, but Otto does a great job staying on his feet and then scrambling for the 5 yards. And then next up, we're going to run a screen, but he defends it well and stops screen for a loss. So now we're facing third down, and the play starts off bad as this defensive tackle somehow comes through unblocked, but once again we shrug off the sack. But I don't have time to slide and cross the first down line, so Otto takes a big hit and coughs up the ball, which he is going to recover. You know, I was holding protect the ball, which usually prevents fumbles, but the low tackle was just too deadly. And you know, for me, the fumble isn't a big deal. I think it's fine if the game punishes you for scrambling with a quarterback. But where I was shaking my head was the initial pressure that led to it. As I play this back, keep an eye on the A-gap between my left guard and centre. Both players who, by the way, have 94 pass blocking, because this is where the tackle comes through. I mean, he sends only 3 defenders. He drops everyone else into coverage, and the game is still going to reward him with instant pressure. I mean, what the hell are they doing? They don't even try to block him on a key third down as well. Whatever, man. So he's going to start his drive close to the red zone, and on his first play he runs a screen for a nice 7-yard gain, and then he's going to start handing the ball off to Marshawn Lynch. And I noticed right away this guy has True Clock on, and the Beast Mode and True Clock combo seems to be really popular this year, and it can be pretty frustrating to play against. And I just knew this was going to be one of those games where on 2nd and 10 Peppers comes off the edge, but Bridgewater stays on his feet and scrambles for a 6-yard gain, and he actually doesn't even shed a tackle here. The running back comes over to block and instead ends up holding him up. I mean, what can you do? But to make things worse, on the next play, Beast Mode finds a huge gap up the middle and then bounces off his own teammates all the way into the end zone to get the touchdown and make us pay for that turnover. So now we've got the ball back, and I noticed he was playing the same cover 3 press play every single down, so we're going to be running the ball. And it starts off well until we try and run the counter, but he gets that annoying zoom tackle animation to stop us for a 1-yard loss. And on 2nd down we make a nice pass to Calvin Johnson, but he's going to drop the ball as he gets hit, and at this point I'm getting pretty heated. I'm losing to someone running the same defense every play, and I cannot find the gaps, and we go for it in 4th, and you know, once again, we give the ball away deep in my own half, and it doesn't help that my opponent is making nice reads, nice passes, and you know, we're struggling. But my defense has been winning me games lately, and they step up big again by stuffing the read option, and then Khalil Mack gets a huge sack to leave him with a 3rd and 19, but he ends up running the wide receiver screen to Antonio Brown, and then he picks up his blocks to get 20 yards and the first down. So close to the 2-minute warning and still chewing clock, he goes back to the run, but he's brought in the new combine warrior Darren McFadden, and he runs the counter to beat our pinch blitz and gets untouched to take a 14-0 lead. So with my opponent not adjusting, we go back to the same play to Calvin, and this time he holds on. But another bad play call leaves the 2nd and 10, and I decide it's time to go deep, and with Megatron one-on-one on the outside, we end up making the huge play and then getting another 15 yards after the catch. So it's time for Franco Harris to make an appearance, and he doesn't let us down, getting the TD and making this a 7-point game. But my opponent gets the ball at half, so we desperately need a stop, but we haven't been able to do that yet, and he continues where he left by moving the ball up the field with ease. With time against him though, we can drop most people into coverage, and it pays off after he misses deep on 1st and 10 and then takes the check down on 2nd down to find himself in a crucial 3rd and 7 situation. We take away his first read over the middle, so he goes for the seam route, but Luke Kuechly is there to break up the pass and force him to punt. He's going to try one of those short glitchy punts, but we are able to catch it and get decent field position to at least, get into field goal range with 25 seconds left. But after we fail on the screen, we go back to the deep route, and then once again his defensive tackle comes through the A-gap, and he's able to sack us in 2nd and 10 and end this drive. So going into the second half, I know this guy's going to be running in tune clock most downs, so I bring in Calvin Johnson to use her in the 3-4 bear, and this will let me send more of the big guys at the running back. And it starts off well as Calvin shows off his tackling, stopping him for 1 yard, and then on the next play he tries the counter, but Khalil Mack sheds the block and stops him for a 1-yard loss. And now he's facing 3rd and 10, and we're going to be all over this crossing route as he finally decides to test the user, and Bobby Wagner says, "Give me that!" to not only get us the stop, but it takes us back to the house to level up this game 14-14. And given how our offense has been playing this game, getting the defensive touchdown is huge. So now we're back on defense again, and we're sticking with the same plan to stop the run. And we stop him short on first, and he tries the wide receiver screen again on second, but we're protecting the flats and make the tackle. On third down though, he runs the screen again, and we're there again, but Lynch shakes off the tackle and gets yet another huge break. His game plan stays the same as we stop 2 consecutive runs up the gut for short yards and force yet another third down. But then I'm left wondering if I'm ever going to get a stop, as once again he throws into coverage, but Antonio Brown makes the grab. He continues to run the ball, but we are just shutting it down for 2 or 3 yards each time, and at this point we just need someone to make a play.
Oh, you beauty! What a hit, son! What a hit!
Team of the Year, Glover Quint delivers. He tries the read option but gets laid out, and Julius Peppers gets the recovery, and now momentum has totally swung in our favour. So this guy has used up almost an entire quarter with his 2 clock, and so we're going to try and do the same as we get the first on the ground. But after getting stopped short on a 3-yard run, I decide to pass, and Gronkowski comes up with the huge one-handed catch in traffic that had shades of his catch against the Broncos this year. And now I know the Madden gods are smiling on us. And the best part is now all we need to do is run the ball and continue picking up first downs to use up that clock, and more importantly use up his timeouts. And it really felt satisfying to be able to do this to someone whose whole game plan was to run one defensive play and then use up huge amounts of clock with each drive when he was on offense. So Green's going to get us the final first down that we need to use up his last timeout, and at this point we know we can just kneel this out and kick the field goal as time expires. But he's not going to go out like a gentleman and decides to start, conceding sloppy penalties, and finally he's going to pause and quit. So thanks for watching, guys. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe, as we'll have more episodes later. Peace.